Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Season 2 of O'Colly Unreported. I'm Ryan Nowozinski, and we are starting off with a bang here with a show of epic proportions. We have Garth Brooks and OSU baseball coach Robin Ventura, two OSU legends, and we are talking about a whole range of topics from Garth Brooks' time with the New York Mets in the 2000 spring training, and everything from that to the bars at Stillwater to why Garth Brooks may come back and play here. All that next.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for this. I haven't got to talk to Robin in a while, so I'm going to enjoy it.
Of course, yeah, no, and that's honestly that's one of the things that we first wanted to start with, and I guess what I will start with is how did this sort of connection between you two? I mean, you two are mega stars here at OSU. How did this spark?
Let's be careful with the mega star part on mine, but. Yeah, I'm trying to even remember how it even started, but I can tell you how it started. Before we met, I did see. I mean, I used to partake down on the Strip a little bit, and he was down there. But yeah, you go ahead. I can't. Yeah, man. Robin Ventura. If you're an Oklahoma State Cowboy, Robin Ventura was Superman. So he was this guy that was pursuing the NCAA record for hits, and everybody loved him. Good dude. And so he was like a hero, and he was kind of showing all of us that anything you put your mind to, you can do. And so I was dating Sandy, the girl's mom, at the time, and we had a Siberian Husky, and they would let dogs in the park, and so we'd just sit out on the hill and left field. And right there behind him and just watch him play ball. I think Inky and some other guys were playing about that time too as well. So Oklahoma State baseball is always a hot topic to watch, but especially at that time, it was pretty spectacular.
Right, and so this was something that was the most interesting thing to me, Garth. One night, I'm going to be honest with you, I was just kind of Googling, just trying to see what guests could come on, and then I saw a picture of you in a Mets hat, okay? And I was like, that's kind of interesting, because I'm from the East, and I thought that was just a fascinating thing. You're a country guy. And then I realized you played for the Mets in the year 2000. And Robin, you were on that team. What was it like for Garth Brooks to play spring training baseball with the Mets?
Well, it was great for us. I think, at that time he had started his foundation for kids, and he had done some spring training with other teams. And I think you called me and just like you were starting, there was something you were starting to kind of ramp it up a little bit. And he goes, I want to go spring training with the Mets. And I'm like, well, I can't make that decision, but I said it would be great. So I called Jay Horowitz, and then they all kind of connected, and he came, and what was great is we had an older team. So he came in, and it was great. I mean, I think it was really a great way to start our year. We ended up going to the World Series and all that stuff, but it kind of solidified our team a little bit of like everybody just got along. He melded into that very easily, and it was a really fun spring training.
Garth, it sounds like Robin just said that he took you guys to the World Series, and he's the reason for that.
There's a lot of people that would agree with that, man. It was a good marriage. They just pulled over Hampton, I think, from the Astros at that time. Yeah. He was a Cy Young winner, and they had virtually everybody. They had Piazza. They had what some people argued was the greatest infield in Major League Baseball, either at that time or against all history. It was a pretty impressive infield, fun to watch. Valentine was the skipper, and we had done spring training with the guys out in San Diego. We had done it in Arizona, and so we wanted to get to the East Coast and do it for the foundation. And so, in kind of a publicity stunt, I got traded to the Mets, and Robin kind of made that all happen for me, and the foundation went on to, still be what it is today. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is super cool. So Garth, I want you to first evaluate how you think you did on the field, and then Robin, I want you to evaluate how Garth Brooks did as a player.
Oh man, the thing that I loved was you got to compete, and so I think it got to play against McGuire that year. So it was pretty cool to go from
field to field and just see how these guys kind of just react. I was trying to think who the skipper for the Pirates were. That was the bench coach for the Cardinals when we were there. Dang it, this guy's been my hero forever. Now I can't. Yeah, Leland. Got to shake his hand, hug his neck. So it's like, anytime you're playing baseball, and I can't speak for the guys who play it, but for me, anytime you play baseball, you're a little kid. You're a fan because you grew up with these guys. And so it was cool. I think I went 0 for 17. But what I loved about the Mets was they would stick you in frickin' bad situation. I mean, like, holy shit, please don't even call my name here. And these guys would stick you in there, and it's like, oh crap! So you're playing first base, left field, you're playing it all.
Yeah, totally. And we can reverse the roles here. Robin, if you were to just out of nowhere become a country singer, okay? Garth tried your craft. What if you tried his craft?
Ooh, no. No.
He's got the drink.
I don't even do it in the shower. That's how bad my voice is. I'm not even allowed to do that. So that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. No, but when he was playing, he did everything. I know he was very sore. I mean, we all get sore when we go to spring training, but I think, he took a lot of ground balls. He hit a lot. He was doing the same practice we were doing. He was doing the same stuff. There was not a, hey, don't do this. He did everything and more so. Like, he signed autographs after the practice. He did everything. And I think that was just the fun part is guys, just got to see how authentic he is. And our team was a really fun team. It did send, there was some kind of thing that happened because of that spring training. And we had a barbecue, didn't we? We had a barbecue at your house. Yeah. And I think that was and it was just players, family, and it was great. I mean, I had to cook the whole thing, but other than that, it was a really fun, party. But I think, there's a lot of guys that still remember just kind of how that kind of meshed the whole team together. So, he was put in a lot of situations where you look, go, ooh, this guy's not even easy matchup for major league player hitters. And they just put him in there, and you're like, all right, and he would take a shot at it. So it was just a very fun spring training for us.
Right, and it sounds like it would be. Garth, I want you to sort of evaluate what is more difficult. Is it more difficult to hit a major league fastball, or is it more difficult to sell out Arrowhead Stadium and perform there?
Oh man, I got to tell you, the thing was wild because what baseball does is it trains you. So you're out there with this little frickin' stick and tennis balls coming at you at 100 and something miles an hour. They got numbers on them. You got to call it. I mean, they get you ready. So I'll tell you this. Making contact in Major League Baseball wasn't impossible. It was trying to hit it where these guys weren't. Because once you put it in play, then you got 9 of the greatest athletes that are going to make sure you're never going to get close to first base. So it was a challenge every time with everything. With everything that came up, Brian, it was just a challenge. It was a challenge to get your uniform on right because they got certain rules. It was a challenge to warm up. And then you do all this in front of people. I don't see how they do it. And most of these guys, too, Ryan, most of these guys are freaking 20 years old. How do you do that at that age? So just endless respect for professional athletes.
Yeah, right. And Robin, I guess you can be the one to crack this code for us, crack the secret for us. How do you do it? Or how did you do it?
I try not to think about it because I think the more you think about it, it gets harder. So I think you've done it over time and you have to kind of trust it and just do it. And it's probably easier to explain to somebody that's done it, but it's just, you just do it. And I think as guys go along, you get used to, I used to always use the phrase that you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable trying to hit in the big leagues because it is hard. And I think when guys get frustrated, that's part of it. Is they go, I don't feel comfortable. I'm like, well, you think anybody feels comfortable when somebody's throwing that hard? They don't. They don't. But you finally get to the point where you're comfortable that, yeah, I'm never going to be comfortable trying to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah. And, and we'll switch gears a little bit here. And I want to talk sort of about something we had talked before we started recording here. And Garth, you had said, or Robin, you had said that, you admitted that you're a student here at OSU now. And Garth, I want to know if you have any advice for Robin in his class efforts.
Hey, Robin, what are you doing?
I am the student coach for baseball, and I never finished my degree because I left after my junior year.
Sure.
So that was the position to fill. So now that I'm taking classes, and right now I've got some business classes in the organizational management department. So I'm trying to learn how to do that.
Oh, cool. Oh, Ryan, you can help me out because you probably know this. Barry Sanders left after his junior year, but he got his degree, didn't he?
I believe he did. Yeah. And I'm going to look it up.
He probably didn't waste his opportunity at Oklahoma State the 3 years he was there.
No way.
His school.
Hey, I'm not saying I have to take 4 more years of it. It's just when you wait 30 years to come back and finish it, a lot of that stuff doesn't apply anymore. It doesn't.
Right. Amen.
The old PE class doesn't really work for your degree. And I know you have to take a PE class too, so don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, amen. And we were all at Iba Hall at that point. Yep. That's where all the athletes were, and I just got to tell you, Ryan, it's being from Oklahoma State is a leg up in anything you do because Oklahoma State is viewed as a working college. It's not a Hollywood college. It's not a pretty college. It's a working college. And so when people know that your university is Oklahoma State University, they look at you very different in the professional world no matter what you do because everyone from there that they know are all guys that will roll up their sleeves and just get to work.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's a very good mindset of that here that I see people are. I've heard someone say nobody outworks cowboy, and I think that's one of the more interesting quotes that I've heard.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I told my kids: manners and work ethic will get you 95% of where you want to go in life. And so, it was really of the things that you're proudest of, other than my children and being married to the love of my life. It would have to be. I'm an Oklahoma State Cowboy. And that for me, that puts me in any race and anything I want to do.
So true. And Garth, when you were here, and I see it, I still see it at the Willie's Bar when I go there. I see newspaper clippings of you performing there. Your legacy ever since you graduated, and I'm sure Robin can attest to this. I mean, it's just grown tremendously. Your song "Friends in Low Places" it's a tradition here now. Do you realize truly how much your legacy has grown at this school since you graduated?
Well, I got to tell you, and Robin's it's probably this way with baseball. You just take high school into college and college into pro. All I did was take Willie's into the record label, to actually a record label artist. But if you came to see us at the Wynn, if you see us anywhere in concert, at some point it's going to go back to that guy and a guitar, just like Willie's. So it's, we ended every night with American Pie, and the last time I got to play was Lincoln, Nebraska, 91,000 people. The last song we did was American Pie. So I don't think, and Robin can probably attest to this, I'm not sure what you have in high school and college changes that much when you go pro. It's just you get to either do it more or get to do it on a more visible level, I guess.
I'd say that's true. It's all the same. Even coaching, college kids, you're still coaching the same stuff. It's just you're not in a big stadium. You might not have, the visibility of the TV being national, but all of it's still the same when you really get down to it. And that's the part that I think is fun, is that you still kind of have that in kind of your brain, that you can still be your 12-year-old self or your 18-year-old self.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point too. And when I looked at just at the game the other day, and even at the bars afterwards, I mean, friends in low places will just be playing, and then people are just they're just singing it, and they know every single word to that song. And Garth, did you ever realize that this might happen, something like this might happen while you were at university at OSU?
No, I mean, you ended the night at Willie's with Piano Man, or You Don't Have to Call Me Darling. You never call me by my name. American Pie. Any of these songs, you sing and you go, man, how cool would it be to be associated somehow with one of these kind of songs? And never saying Friends in Low Places is on the level of American Pie or Piano Man. With that said, it's hard to find somebody who doesn't know the words to it. So it sure makes my job easier. Robin and these guys with the Mets, they're all fired up about their locker room and all this stuff. And I'm like, you guys don't know how to do this. So you need to walk into a stadium where everybody in the stadium's for you. Not half of them, and not half of them are booing you, and half of them are yelling for you. And what they call buses aren't buses at all, right? So it was fun to compare the two worlds, and it was very sweet for them to let me in there. But yeah, it's pretty cool that you get to go out and already kind of know what's going to happen before you get out there. They just came to sing. So all you got to do is just tee it up.
Yeah, so true. And Robin, what is this? What is something like that? I mean, Garth keeps talking about this from a baseball perspective too, and your world. What is it like for you to see all this since your time at OSU? I mean, you obviously you had a long baseball career. You were the manager of the White Sox, and now you're back here at your alma mater. What is sort of this progression look like from your perspective, and seeing people just started to notice you more.
Like being back here, like we're in a beautiful brand new stadium. It's changed a little bit. It's not the little quaint one that used to be there. It's a little bit bigger. It's nicer, but deep down the philosophy or the history or whatever, transcends over time is still there. And I think you still see the same people. When I come in here and we have games, you still see the same people that have been coming to games for years. And, coming back, it's like you're asking, like, why are you doing it? And I'm like, there was really no time in my life that a place has been so impactful for the trajectory of what happened to me in my career or anything else. Like, I kind of came here kind of a shy kid from California, but you leave, more mature and proud of where you came from. But this place really changed my life. And I think that's part of me coming back and doing this is the only place I would do this at. And I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
that's a great statement. The launching pad that it provides, not just the place itself, but the people that are there. So yeah, I'll tell you a true story. I hopped on the back of my buddy's bike and we drove down to Oklahoma City for the Big 8 championships Robin was playing. And Robin had a streak going. Robin, and if this is wrong, correct me, please, but Robin's got a streak going, but he's gone 0 for 4 for the night, and the streak's going to be over, and it goes into extra innings. Now you're seeing, when they say that character is not created in crisis, it's revealed. So Robin gets another chance to hit in the extra innings, and he hits a ground ball, a chopper. And Robin's not known for his speed anyway. What? But this guy's busting it down, and he gives it the effort and beats the throw out, gets an infield signal to continue the streak. And that moment is etched forever in my mind. And it gave me the thing of, okay, this is what you do. When things get hard, you just get harder and you just go to work. And so it's, Oklahoma State is a wonderful place, like a gym kind of hidden out in the middle of Oklahoma. It's still going to be the people that make the experience what it is.
That's a great point. I remember, I was just doing college tours and stuff like that, and we talk about the New York Mets a little bit. I'm from that area. I'm from New Jersey, and just coming out here, you look at some of the more flashy schools. You look at a school like OU, and they got really nice buildings. But then I looked at OSU. Even our journalism building isn't the greatest, and I looked at it, but I compared the two, and it's the people. It really is the people. So was that sort of the thing that sold you guys when you both were looking at OSU as well?
Well, yeah, for me, how did you get all the way up there from California?
I could walk on at other places, and this was a place that gave me a scholarship. So at first, I wasn't really sure this was the place that I would see in the College World Series on TV. So I was a little skeptical, but I came out, and it was just the atmosphere when I came out of going to the games. Pete was hitting a home run almost every other time he came to the plate, but it was really more just the people that I met, the atmosphere that was here, and that's what sold me.
Yeah, but Ryan, think about it. When you think about the ultimate Oklahoma State Cowboy, there's Robin Ventura. He's going to outwork anybody. He's got the talent. He's got the natural raw talent. Also, the nicest guy on the planet. For me, that's Oklahoma State in one guy right there. So it was easy for me. Why I love being from there. And then when you think of the guys that were all there at that time, Thurman, Barry, Jimmy Johnson. I'm trying to think who the guy was head coach for Kansas.
Les Miles.
Les Miles.
What is it?
Oh no, Bill
here?
Self or Les Miles?
Bill Self.
Bill
Self.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Self's there, and so it's pretty cool. We're all kind of like in one dorm, and it was neat to be a Cowboy then, and it's even more neat to be a Cowboy now. So that's I don't know how many other colleges can tout that kind of lineup in that time. So just proud of, and I worked for the O'Colly at the time, so it was pretty good. I got one thing printed, and I didn't get a byline on it. I got a staff writer written on it doing something about the OSU ski team out of Lake.
Wow. So we didn't give you we didn't give you a full-time position here.
No, I was when you majored in journalism, you got to spend a semester kind of working around the O'Colly. Trying to think, I was around. It was my one time I got to see it. I think the 5 bells went off, in the thing, and I think it might have been when Reagan was the attempted assassination on Reagan, maybe.
Uh-huh.
But it was pretty cool to be around the room and hear that 5 bells and go, "What the hell is the 5 bells?" And everybody screaming and running to this big ass box, kind of like a telex or something. And that's
just thought I lost you for a second. Can you guys say one more time? You guys cutting out a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're there. Okay, perfect. We'll cut that out. We'll edit that out. Okay, yeah, but I mean, Garth, that blows me away that you got here and you had one article for us. If I were in charge still, I would probably make you honorary EIC, editor in chief. But that's just me.
Yeah, no, hey, Brian, if it's got something to do with working, no thanks. I found a kid you don't have to work at.
And I was you're gonna love this, Garth. Is one day I was I was looking at my roster for, I think it was microbrewing class, and I'm looking down and I see in it, and it says, just like a little class profile. It says Robin Ventura, or it says Ventura, comma Robin, and I'm like, as a baseball fan, I'm like, this is the craziest stuff ever. Like, Robin Ventura is in my class. So I mean, Robin, how are things going for you this year? Like in that regard. In the classroom?
It's going. It's a lot of work. It really is. I think, I never thought I'd actually work again, but this is actually work. And it's hard because by the time you get to the ballpark and you're doing stuff, it's the same as managing or coaching anywhere else. But then you add on you're staying up till midnight. You got to get a paper in by midnight, and it's late nights and early mornings is when I can do my school stuff. But it's very interesting stuff, and I think, I'm lucky to be able to do it. But it is some work, and it's a grind right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is from my perspective too, and you're doing a baseball coaching job on top of that. Garth, do you think that you could do classes right now, given your work schedule?
No, man. I went back to get I went back to further my degree at Oklahoma State while my kids were at school, so I didn't have anything to do. I can't imagine this, but I can tell you this: of all the great things Robin Ventura for, is athleticism, everything. Nobody's going to out-stubborn Robin Ventura. Okay, so if it's all about just hanging in there and just grinding, he's going to win. My money's on him.
Well, you know what I can do? If I hit a ground ball in the infield, I will run it out. I know that.
I have seen.
I'm going to run it
out.
Wow, so nobody out-stubborns Robin Ventura. That's interesting. I didn't know that about you, Robin.
I don't let it out very often, but our kids are learning that. Just when they think they work hard, I'm like, I'll be the judge of that. I'll get you in the cage. We'll see how much you work.
Gentlemen, last couple questions for you. I want to know quickly, what you guys think of how OSU, sort of maybe it's from a physical standpoint, like buildings wise, or just an academic standpoint. How do you think it's evolved since you guys were there? And grown, I guess.
Well, there wasn't much. I mean, I even now you drive around. There's more places to eat. The buildings are a little bigger and nicer. Stadiums are nice. But there's more people. Like, I think it used to be a little more that you just saw everybody more, and there wasn't the internet, so you couldn't do things online. So you actually had to go to class. And I think now it's missing a little bit because you don't actually sit in class with people. And I think that was really the fun part back then, is you could be in a class and, you'd have Barry or Hartley Dykes in your class, and, there was just those connections and the people that you ran into. You don't, more sports now, or especially now, I think, are kind of separate from having a one workout room, like a weight room, and I think, Garth, did you help build that? The first one? No. All right. So, but you did have, but Mickey Weber was in there. So there's connections of people. Like Mickey Weber worked for Garth for a while, but he was the baseball weightlifting coordinator. So you'd be in there, but you would mix with people a little bit more maybe than you do now.
Yeah, Ryan, you had underneath what was Gallagher then. What was underneath Gallagher was this basement that was just dirt, pretty much. So indoor track would run down there, try to miss the poles, the foundation poles down there. But then the wrestlers would be down there too. And it's holy cow, there's so much dust down there. Then the baseball players, if it was raining, because they didn't have indoor cages, they'd come down there, and pretty soon there'd be 3 or 4 sports down there working there. You can't see because the dust is so bad down there. But you just kept working and working. And for me, again, it's like the first Rocky, it's all about getting in there and getting after it when the conditions aren't the greatest. So what other people might have bitched about or are so glad that this has changed, I think I'm with Robin. I'm kind of old school on the fact that I love that they threw you all in the same thing, and you were right there with the baseball players, right there with the wrestlers. And trust me, dude, there is no different breed of person than a wrestler. None whatsoever. No, so hanging out with those guys was a trip.
Oh, I bet. I mean, just see them now.
That track down there, you had to run around 11 times for it to be a mile. And the wrestling room was in the southeast corner, and they left that door open, and there was a smell that used to creep out around that corner. So you kind of pace yourself. You get a little jog going, but you would speed up around that corner because that smell was so bad. They never cleaned that room, and it was just, oh, man. And you had to do it at least 11 to, 20 times, and you're like, oh, man.
So it's not just physical strength that you guys are working out; it's mental strength.
Yeah, it's lung capacity. It's like you're trying to hold your breath going around that southeast corner, and you're like, oh, here we go.
It sounds like hell, guys. It sounds like hell. And Garth, I did want to ask you this too. Is when you were there and like performing at Willie's and stuff like that, and just some of the other bars that you had got some of your early gigs at here. Do you ever like go back? Does your mind ever go back to that time? And I guess the main question would be, would you ever consider playing here at Boone Pickens Stadium?
Yeah, the thing with Boone Pickens, the problem with Boone Pickens is it's built exactly opposite for concerts. Load in, everything's at the different. It's not built for how we play in the round stadiums. If we were proscenium, if we were front on, it'd be fine. But since we're a 360, the stadium is built more in a U, and where the opening of the U needs to be is exactly opposite of where it needs to be. So logistically, it's not possible to play there. Would I want to play there? Oh, hell yeah! I mean, it'd be like ordering 2 buffets at a pizza joint. It'd be fabulous, and there's no better place to play, because again, when your workers show up and the workers are in the seats, and those workers are going to work all night, you don't have to. So that's what's fun about anything at Oklahoma State is it's going to be a party. It's going to be fun. It's going to be sincere, and it's going to be loud as hell.
I could not have said it any better myself, and that's why I'm glad that you said it, Garth. Is there any sort of way that you're trying to make possible to come play here? I mean, there's a whole movement. People are saying Garth to BPS and stuff like that. Is there any possible way to perform here at OSU, or did they just need to, kind of get a better facility that manages concerts better?
No. You're not going to get a better.
Hold on, Ryan. This has to go through me first. He always calls me first before he does these things. So
that's right.
We'll talk about it later.
And Ryan, I got to tell you, if I had a place to pick to play there, it'd be Willie's.
Oh, look at that!
I would love to play Willie's again.
Dang. Well, you know what, Garth? I'm going to have to go and,
all right,
I'm going to have to have an ice shot
ride
Willie's
my bike
tonight.
over there.
Hey, Robin, can you do something about the pitchers of beer? You want to set the price on it? Or?
Well, if they were like they used to be, there used to be 25-cent long necks on Thursday night. I'm just saying, I heard about it.
Yeah.
I heard about it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. That was the season premiere of O'Colly Unreported. I want to give a special shout out to my 2 buddies, Garth and Robin, for joining us today on O'Colly Unreported. For all that and more, please subscribe to O'Colly TV. All that and more. I'm Ryan Nowozinski. Have a great day.
O'Colly TV.